spells are placed on people who don't deserve it, i.e. COVID, humanity, when is the spell going to backfire on the elite?
When will these hexes and bad spells placed upon humanity? Well, there's a thing called natural law, and natural law is the equilibrium of the universe, and it always swings back into balance, into the middle point, right? It's happened all through history. The Bolsheviks collapsed, the Third Reich collapsed, the Maoists collapsed. Now, it doesn't always get replaced by something that's perfect, because the pendulum swings back, and then it gets to a certain distance where it kind of overshoots through momentum, but it will always find the middle. A bad hex or a bad spell will always fail because it's against natural law. It's interfering with the mechanics of the universe, and natural law is the ultimate arbiter of the universe. It cannot survive without forced. So, like, a lie is only enforced by more lies.
Okay. Yeah.
And when eventually everyone goes, this is bollocks. Bam. It all falls back. That's what happened to the Soviet Union, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that was the only.
That's the only question.
Question. The other ones were. The other one was saying as the electronics and sigils.
Sigils, yeah.
Yeah. The other one was Barbara. When we met Barbara Wren first, and she wrote the book about light and the fact that cells communicate in the body via photons.
Yeah.
And it was because you were talking about light in the body and
Yeah, and it's analog. It's not digital. You have a lot of new agers saying we're digital computers or we're not. We're analog.
No.
We're analog. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
The nervous system is analog.
The other question I had was your reference to drag queens in the sorcery book.
Yeah.
And I suppose every behaviour is a sort of magic. I didn't get what you meant.
Well, what happens is the drag queens take. I had what I would call definitely a spiritual experience when I was a young lad. I went to New York for a time. I wandered down towards like the lower west side and the gate, Greenwich Village, and I saw for the first time 6 foot plus fellas with hair up like this. And what happens was it transformed me into a kind of a magical state because I realized that they had created an incredible persona and charismatic charge in the same way, say, a peacock displays their feathers or an animal does some kind of display, and it was incredibly powerful and incredibly intimidating. These guys were as tough as nails. They could beat up anybody, these fellas. But they were hard and tough. But they created a sort of like a magical charisma through being the drag queens. And I realized then, well, that was the purpose. Again, that's natural as well. In nature, you have peacocks, you have animals who put on these incredible displays of color and stuff like that. Sea creatures. And that's what that was. So I realized then that drag queens were actually using a form of magic, and the Viking shamans were called satyrs, and we know from some of the Viking, not the sagas, from the Eddas, that the Viking shamans they used to dress like it was like vain womanly men, and they weren't. It wasn't like a gay liberation thing, but it was like they were drag queening it up. So that was the magical thing there.
Okay.
Are we done?
Yeah, I think so.
We're done. And Ogham, O-G-H-A-M, is pronounced Om, like Om resistors, Om like
It's pronunciation of Cthulhu.
Yeah, Lovecraft said the word Cthulhu was in a language that the human vocal cords couldn't do. I heard Stephen King say it's called Thulu. But Cthulhu is fine. It's the only way the syllables can be related because it's an alien language. So that's it. Okay, the interrogation is over. Goodbye.
Thanks.